What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the show. So I want to give you guys an update when it comes to Maine. So we're going to take a look and listen to Troy Jackson. He's a former state senator, and now the talk is that he could potentially be the replacement for Platner. So we're going to take a look and listen to what he has to say. He did file some paperwork when it comes to the campaign, so he could be moving forward. Now understand, Platner needs to voluntarily drop out of the race. If Platner doesn't voluntarily drop out of the race, his name is going to be on the ballot, even if he decides later on that he doesn't want to run, or he could just continue on and run. So let's hear what Troy Jackson has to say about all this. But first off, if you guys can do me a favor, please like the video. If you're watching this video and you want to see more content like this, please consider subscribing to the channel. Okay, so let's go ahead. We're going to take a look and a listen to Troy Jackson. Here we go.
Out front now, Troy Jackson is former Democratic president of Maine State Senate, who has now filed campaign paperwork just today to possibly replace Platner if he drops out. So, Senator Jackson, I appreciate your time. I guess, here we are, maybe not where you expected we would be even, 36 hours ago. Do you believe at this point Platner will end his Senate campaign before Monday's deadline?
Well, I do. I think Graham is going to drop out because it's about the issues that aren't so important, and somebody else has to pick that mantle up, and I think Graham's going to do the right thing and drop out.
Obviously, you have a lot of experience in politics in Maine, and you ran for governor. You came in third in the Democratic primary there, and you told a local reporter in Maine, and I quote you here: "If Graham's stepping away, I'm very, very interested and think I'm the best person to replace him." But as I mentioned, Troy, there's no known process to get anyone on the ballot whose name isn't Graham Platner at this point, right? It's an unknown. I mean, would you even have enough time to do this, to get it together, to pull off a win if you got in the next few days?
Well, I think it's definitely a challenge, a shorter timeline. But I think that, again, there's a movement here in Maine, across this country, of people that are fed up with healthcare not being offered to everyday people, with prescription drugs, workers' rights. I mean, and we're seeing that here in Maine, and I think that is going to carry whoever is a nominee to victory over Collins, because she doesn't offer any of that. And so that's what I think. I mean, short timeline, obviously money and all that is going to be a challenge, but I definitely think it's doable because the message, the movement is right, and that's what's important.
So another ex-girlfriend of Platner's, Lindsay Fifield, who's alleged Platner was physically abusive to her, spoke out just within the past hour to Jake Tapper. And I wanted to play some of what she said. Senator, here she is.
The things that he does in private in his relationships with women, the things that he has done to women, coercive control, lying, deception, abuse, and really horrible things that we know about him. We know that you can't be that way in private and not have it translate into how you would govern.
The Platner campaign told CNN that Fifield's allegations are categorically false, comes from a person with a well-documented political agenda. I'm curious, Senator, you're obviously as connected as it gets in Maine Democratic politics, right? You're president of Maine State Senate. So is there more to come? I mean, every time he's been asked, he says no, and then we learn something else, right? Is there more?
Mm-hmm. Honestly, I don't know. I mean, we had conversation about this being like one of the biggest races ever. I mean, yes, I have had a lot of experience in state legislative races, and I've had to ask candidates to step down when we found out stuff about them. But my conversation with him was there was nothing. Now here we are with things coming out, and I don't know if there's more. I really don't. But it doesn't matter. The thing is that a woman came forward, said she was sexually assaulted. That's the end. I mean, that's the red line. That's why Graham has to step down. It shouldn't matter if something else is going to come out. There's already been enough come out.
Okay, so that was Troy Jackson. He could potentially be the next senator out of Maine if the Democrats are able to select him. If Platner decides to drop out and the Democrats select him, so we'll just have to see how this all plays out. What's interesting to me, there are a few things that are interesting to me about this whole situation. First off, when it comes to vetting these candidates, I don't know what's going on, and this is the second candidate that we've seen. There was the situation that happened with Swalwell in California, and now we're in this situation here. Now that was for a governor's race, but now we're looking at the Senate race. But the Democratic Party, they need to do a better job of vetting these candidates. They really do, because all this stuff that's coming out now, just could you imagine if we're past July 13th and then that stuff starts coming out? Because that's what the Republican Party wanted to do. They wanted to wait. They said that they had some of this information already. They wanted to wait until after July 13th because they knew that Graham Platner would be on the ballot at that point, and they could just put out all this information. And even if Platner decided at that point that he was going to drop out, well, then Collins would win because you wouldn't have anyone else on the ballot. Maybe there could be a write-in, but that's always confusing to people. So this situation now actually benefits Democrats, because, or at least Democrats in Maine, the Democratic Party, because now they have an opportunity if Platner decides to drop out. And right now, what I'm hearing from the Democratic Party in Maine is that they're trying that Platner is trying to negotiate with them to pick the person to replace him, which the Democratic Party, they don't want to do that, the Democratic Party in Maine. And so that might be why we're not hearing anything from Platner right now. That might be why he hasn't officially said that he is going to drop out. He's trying to use that as leverage so he can get the candidate that he wants to replace him. So that's the talk right now.
Hi, everyone. I wanted to provide you all an update on the U.S. Senate race here in Maine. As you know, the Maine Democratic Party has been working around the clock to develop a process to replace our U.S. Senate nominee that is open, inclusive, transparent, and fair. The integrity of this process is just as important as the outcome, and we are committed to ensuring that Democrats across our state can have confidence in both. Unfortunately, Graham Platner's team has repeatedly reached out to us in an attempt to put their thumb on the scale of what this process looks like. We have repeatedly reiterated to Graham Platner's team that they have no role in determining our next Democratic nominee for the U.S. Senate, nor in determining what this process looks like. We have also reiterated that Graham Platner must drop out of this race so that Democrats in Maine can focus on defeating Susan Collins this November. We look forward to making this process public as soon as Graham Platner formally withdraws from this race.
Some other people are saying that he'll wait until the weekend and then he'll drop out on the weekend. Now, remember, he has to do this before, I think, 5 p.m. on July 13th. So Monday. So if he doesn't do anything over the weekend, then everybody's going to be watching on Monday to see what happens. But at this point, he's lost a lot of support. He's lost a lot of endorsements. He's losing money. And so he's not going to be getting some of that money for his campaign. So, I mean, realistically, he doesn't have a pathway forward in this campaign. So he's going to have to drop out. I think right now he's just trying to negotiate to see where that goes. And so now I want to pass it off to you. What do you guys think about all this? What do you think about Troy Jackson replacing him? Let me know in the comments below. If you like this video, please give me a thumbs up. Please subscribe for more. And remember, stay informed, stay engaged, and I'll talk to you in the next one. Bye. So that's all we have for this video. Make sure if you guys want to send me an email, you can do that, david@thetecshow.com. Like the video, subscribe for more, and check out these videos over here for some more great content. Talk to you later. Bye.